Oh, hello. Hello, hi, hello there. Hi, Digital, I see you. Vulnerable, hey. Hey, April, hi, EMP, free to play. Hello, welcome. We are here. It is a dumb Fekk Friday, except it's Sunday, because I can't with this shit. Literally cannot. I cannot. I'm getting sick and tired talking about this shit. I am actually. Oh, hey, Alicia. Good to see you. I am getting a little bit tired of talking about Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. However, there are two more things that are going to be happening with this. Two more things. Besides this one. We're having this. And then I'm going to do live reactions to the closing statements. The closing statements are this Friday. So this Friday coming up, the 27th, will be the closing statements. So provided that remains the same and nothing changes there, I will do a live reaction to those on the following Saturday. So that will be the 28th. So the 28th, there will be live about that. And then after that, either that day, depending on how long they are, or the following day, we will have our first tavern hangout, which will essentially, the yet to be named tavern. I haven't named the tavern yet, but basically it's going to be come hang out, drink with us, open forum conversation, and we'll just start with people's thoughts on Amber Heard. Now, either that will be Saturday night or that will be Sunday. I'm just not sure which day that will be. It will basically be in the evening. It's going to be like a later show. It'll be like 9. It'll just depend on how long it takes me to get through the closing statements. So I'll go off of that. Other announcements. Debate Hub on Thursday will be its premiere. We have Landon Kirtnall and Will Cox Kirk coming on to talk with us about, and with each other mostly, about state of affairs and, the current state of the American political system and structure. We'll be on to talk about that. That's going to be a debate/discussion. I think it'll be a little bit more on the discussion side of things. And as well with that, we have Seamus and John from the Free Thought Project coming on the Friday. So there will be no Dumb Fuck Friday this Friday. But the next Friday, we'll have Manya on again to talk more about, I think we're going to be covering top masculine, because before we were talking about alpha masculinity, this time we're talking about masculine something. I don't know. It's the same thing, different name. We're going to talk about that. Wilcox Kirk. Yeah, Kirk Wilcox. And so that'll be a lot of fun. We also have another episode of, which I believe will also be Debate Hub, that will be Landon and Manya coming on to talk about volcanology. So if you need to know anything about volcanology, you want to know about volcanoes, we're going to be talking about that. That has yet to be scheduled, though, so be a little bit patient on that one. There is also this Wednesday, we have coming up our Dungeons and Dragons game, Guns, Magic, and Steel, with Erica, and I was thinking about Eric with Erica. Erica, her significant other. I think TD Lane is going to be away this Wednesday, so wish him luck, because I believe he's working on some school stuff. Dapper Dinosaur, Bent Hoven, no relation, and our lovely DM, Maddie. So that will be happening on Wednesday. If you haven't checked out their channels, you should. Definitely do that. Their channels are not in the description, because they haven't sent them to me. I keep asking them, and they haven't given them to me yet. So we do that for charity, so please feel free to donate to those charities. That time of the month is on the way. We are just basically waiting for Mika to settle into her current residence. So that is that. Go check this channel's front page. The live streams that are coming up are all right at the top, so they will all be right there. So this week is going to be a busy week. There will be a video coming out tomorrow and a video coming out on Tuesday. They are both already recorded, edited videos, so that's what those will be. As well as Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, there's a video every day this week coming up. every day. So there's the video that was yesterday. Then there's videos. I was over on Dapper Dino's channel yesterday, and I was on Manya's channel yesterday, and then I was also the premiere yesterday that came out, and then I was like, listen, I'm just here all the time, all day, every day. There's going to be something on this channel at some point, I assure you. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we are here to talk about Vogue. The other day, I mentioned that the mainstream media has not been covering the Amber Heard case very well, and the Johnny Depp case very well, or they've been incredibly biased. And I can't say I'm currently a fan of their coverage, but I didn't really give too many examples. Well, luckily for me, across my desk comes Vogue to demonstrate my point for me. So we're going to go through this, and we're actually going to talk about why this is problematic from mainstream media. Why is it? Because people will say, oh, it's mainstream media is being biased. Oh, it's such a problem. Oh, it's problematic. But not very often do you hear people saying why this is problematic. So we're going to talk about, we're going to read it, and we're going to talk about why it's problematic. But before we go into that, somebody made a really good point, and this is Kaya. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if I am not pronouncing that correctly. But they had said, in response to Vogue, we have listened to her for years, and for years she has lied. The perfect victim here is not Amber, but they were all too quick to believe her, and they can't fathom who the real victim was. And now they can't admit they were wrong. All they're doing is silencing males from coming forward. Definitely fair. Definitely fair. Good point. I also have this, which is a write-up provided by Intrigued Feline that gives us a little bit of what do we know so far. And I think it's important to cover what we do know so far, so that way when we read the Vogue article, we'll kind of be able to ascertain back and forth what we're looking at. So, Intrigued Feline says, here, actually, I'm going to move this. Sorry, just 1 second. I'm just going to move something on my computer screen so this makes my life just a little bit easier. Because, you know, sometimes it's nice to have my life not be more difficult than it needs to be. All right. So, Intrigued Feline had posted something that was provided to them. Here are some quick facts about Amber Heard that we know that are proven. 1, he wasn't the only alcohol and drug abuser. She drank 2 bottles of wine a day, took drugs as well by her own admission. 2, caught lying about using makeup that didn't exist back then to cover her bruises frequently, which was refuted by the makeup company in court. 3, past domestic violence arrests against her ex, literally charged and arrested, plus admitted to domestic violence against Johnny, plus suspicion of domestic violence against her own sister, bracket, her sister was discussing it with her friends by the poolside in a video clip, end bracket, and assaulted her ex best friend in public. She also spit on her assistant, if I'm not mistaken, her ex-assistant, who testified to that in court. In contrast, Johnny has no history of being violent towards women. Every single one of his ex-girlfriends and spouses all speak highly of him, and he said he's never laid hands on them. 4, audio recording of her admitting to cutting his finger in Australia, bracket, not allowed in this trial due to technicalities, end bracket, proving again that her testimony was a lie. One of the voices on the tape is now deceased and can't testify, end bracket, which would be the technicality. So it would be Jerry Judge, if I understand correctly. 5, her psychologist lied about Amber having no domestic violence history and was called out by Johnny's attorney. 6, has no witnesses or evidence, bracket, all conveniently random strangers that don't know, that she doesn't know, or deceased people like a bodyguard, end bracket. 7, her longtime assistant testified under oath that she did not once see or hear any physical abuse from Depp or ever saw any injuries on Heard in all the years. She also She also testified under oath that Heard had spit on her face when she asked for a raise. 8, she visits Dr. Kipper's office the day after her alleged incident after an alleged incident where she was severely beaten. The doctor's medical report states her in perfect health with no injuries of any kind on her. also states her skin was in perfect condition. Her explanation was, quote, "This was a partial report and I didn't have time to get into the details with the doctor about the injuries," end quote, day 16 of the trial cross-examination. Watched that yesterday with Manya, if you're interested. Allegedly got her nose broken, hit multiple times, her scalp and hair ripped off, penetrated by a bottle, dragged over broken glass, and got her arms and legs, quote, pretty cut up, and the bottoms of her feet. Then somehow felt safe enough to take sleeping pills with her attacker in the same house, woke up the next day and made him coffee, then went to James Corden's show, miraculously healed. These are a mixture of different things. This is like the James Corden show would include the hair being ripped out, the being hit multiple times and having a broken nose. The bottle and the glass and the sleeping pills were from Australia. So just for clarification. No marks, no scars, no pictures, no medical report. There are pictures of her without these injuries. There is one picture of her with what she claims is a bruise on the side here, and there are pictures of her scalp, but it does not appear to have the same kind of injury that she is describing. Hairstylist saw no signs of abuse. The hairstylist would have been inches away from her face, looking at all the details while working on her appearance. She saw 0 injuries. Multiple witnesses, including 3 cops, saw no signs of abuse. That's when the cops went to the apartment. The body cam footage actually also backs that up. 10. Allegedly got raped and assaulted multiple times on her honeymoon, then wrote Johnny a love letter saying, quote, "It was the most amazing and beautiful honeymoon any girl could have ever dreamed of," end quote, evidence presented in day 18 of the trial in their notebook. 11. Claimed she wanted to leave Johnny, but in all the audio clips, she was the one begging him to stay. Claimed she always tried to de-escalate, but in audio clips, she is always the aggressor, preventing him from leaving and taunting him. 12. In all of her crying, there is never a single tear coming out of her eyes, even when reciting the most traumatic experiences. 13. Allegedly feared for her life, but bought him a large knife. 14. Testified under oath that she was beaten by Johnny with a huge chunky rings on his fingers. She said she was, quote, hit so many times in the face over and over again she lost count, end quote. The photos taken the next day show her face completely spotless without any injuries. When cross-examined, she answers, quote, there do not appear to be any injuries on my face in that photo, end quote. 15, caught lying under oath, again saying, quote, didn't receive money, end quote, from Johnny when she got $7 million and lying about, quote, never assaulted, end quote, Johnny when she admits it on tape. 16, proven once again as a liar when she made public statements of donating $7 million for Children's Hospital, but in reality donated exactly $0 before she was called out. Also caught lying under oath about donating the money. Her sworn testimony was, quote, I donated the entire settlement of $7 million to charity, end quote. When cross-examined, she states, quote, I did not lie. I pledged $7 million. Pledged and donated are synonymous. They mean the same thing, end quote, day 16 of the trial cross-examination. 17, blackmailing Depp with her attorney, trying to make a deal for 3 of the adjoining penthouses when where they both lived, $50K monthly expenses, $500K in attorney's fees, and the SUV Depp let her drive in exchange for not filing the protection order. 18, her publishing of the op-ed domestic violence piece is timed perfectly with the release of Aquaman film. It didn't get published when they divorced or before or right after, but instead it was published right when Aquaman was being released and when the Me Too movement was grabbing more on the headlines. 18, I read that one. 19, Amber Heard's team desperately tried to stop the trial from being publicly broadcasted while Depp's team made sure it was public. So the documentation that I read from that said that the judge was the one who decided, if I read it correctly, the judge was the one who decided to allow it, or the judge was the one who decided to say this needs to be public because of how big it was. Johnny's team said okay, Amber Heard said no. Maybe I misread it. 20, longtime friend and co-worker of Amber, telling about her hardcore cocaine and drug habit, dating all the way back to 2008 when they were close associates. A YouTube show called Steven and Jason, and in the newest episode titled We Need to Talk About Amber Heard. 21, Amber testified about having injuries such as a gross-colored pus coming out of her temple and suffering a broken nose, but when cross-examined, she changed the lines to gross-colored pus under her scalp and felt like a broken nose, because she knew the evidence is about to show zero injuries visible on her. Bracket, how does she see gross-colored pus under her scalp with an X-ray machine? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Fair? Fair and reasonable question. 22, allegedly got beaten up for 5 years and not a single injury shown on her face. No doctor visits, no dentists, no surgeons, no photos, despite countless appearances on public events and countless photos taken. Given her celebrity status, many of these public appearances were the night after the beating. Keep in mind the beatings were all allegedly done by Depp with huge chunky rings on his fingers. Yet after 5 years of beating, she didn't need to visit a doctor once or show signs of injury on her face. Sounds like her facial bone density and durability of her skin matched that of armor plating. 23. Alleges Johnny slashed the soles of her feet, but was seen the next day walking completely normal. Again, no doctor visit or treatment of any kind, even though she has a personal doctor on retainer. 24. Constantly changing details of her stories and allegations. She's already given 4 different versions of the poop incident. She has said, quote, 1, quote, told security guard that she pooped and it was a practical joke gone wrong. 2, Johnny did it to frame her. 3, said it never happened, it was Johnny gaslighting her. And 4, said the puppies did it. And lastly, this page, because there's still 3 more and I don't know how to count. 25. Her lying under oath is not even worth mentioning anymore, but there are too many to list. Just to list a few in this trial alone: lying about not receiving any money from Johnny when in fact she received $7 million. Lying about having donated the money when in fact she donated $0 thus far. Lying about never assaulting Johnny. I feel like I read this. Didn't I just read this? I feel like I just read this. 24. Whatever. I feel like I've read this already. I feel like this was already in here, but maybe it's just supposed to be a summary. Lying about never assaulting anyone before, when in fact she assaulted at least 4 that we have evidence of. Lying about her injuries when a medical records show absolutely no injuries. 26. She put someone through hell for years, publicly shamed and destroyed his career and life just so she can be seen as a noble victim and use the attention and sympathy to advance her career and profile. She claims she never wanted to be seen as a victim and wanted to move on, but appears in countless TV shows and articles talking about her abuse and donation nonstop. Literally appeared on every show she could to talk about her being a victim and being noble on the donation that never happened. 27. Amber's own friend, Tillit Wright, that's Io, a longtime close friend with Amber Heard, testified under oath that he had never seen or heard Amber being abused by Johnny Depp. Day 20 of the trial. Whew! All right, we got through that. Oh, thanks. Why, Amber, why you gotta poop on the bed? Yeah, the person shouting that when she left the courthouse guy gave me a giggle. All right, now that we've gone through that, shall we take a look and see if Vogue is more accurate or less accurate than this this little mini write-up. Here we go. Vogue, Why It's Time to Believe Amber Heard by Raven Smith. Shall we look at Raven Smith? What is Elon Musk actually after? Yikes. These are some articles. Okay. Do we know anything about about the author? Is there an about the author at the bottom? What the hell? There's not even about the author. What the hell, Vogue? You guys suck. And they call out Vogue. All right. Where to begin with the online cesspit that is Depp versus Heard? Good. How about the trial? I have some videos you can go check out from when the trial about the sun was going on. You can go and check those videos out if you would like to go find them. They're from about a year ago. Good luck. I think they might be under the Goblin Reads playlist if you look at that one. Let's F9 this, though, because I don't want to see all of Vogue's stupid ads. Because I don't care. Oh, look at that. Ain't that pretty? Unless you've been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you'll know that the ex-spouses are back in court. Depp is seeking damages of $50 million after Amber Heard wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post in 2018 in which she spoke of being a victim of domestic abuse, bracket without ever explicitly naming Depp, end bracket. I don't know this word. Oh, the minutia. I do know that word. I've never seen that word written down. The minutia being combed through at the trial has come to feel less like a lawsuit and more like a torturous exorcism of the past. A thorough and painful raking over the coals of their 4-year entanglement. I think that description is fair so far. The details of both Depp and Heard's testimonies are... So the problem with using ad block on these things is that sometimes the ad block will prevent you from actually even reading the article. So I have, like, my normal browser that I tend to use does have ad block on it. This one does not have ad block on it specifically for stuff like this. The details of both Depp and Heard's testimonies are harrowing all by themselves, gruesome, violent, and containing deeply intimate anecdotes about their relationship. Broadly speaking, witnesses' testimonies have been persuasive. With the two actors in the doc, we can never be sure of the absolute truth. All right, already hedging their bets. Noted. And with, still, despite the fact that London's High Court previously found allegations that Depp was a wife-beater to be substantially true, the internet appears to have overwhelmingly picked Depp's side. Fair. Let's not quite get into the interesting story about how Amber Heard is connected to the judge of that particular Sun Court case, but maybe that's neither here nor there for Vogue. They might not care. I apologize. I have to drink water during this or my throat will just... Last week, hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp was trending on Twitter. Yesterday, it was Amber Turd. Hashtag Amber Turd. I mean, that's what you get when you put it in the court records. Go on social media, and the anti-Heard sentiment is palpable. The memes have been ferocious, sometimes consisting of a spot the difference comparison with domestic abuse victims. To be fair, there were also memes about Johnny. So the memes have definitely been flowing on both sides. So I would just like to say I'm a fan of all of them. I haven't seen a meme about this that has not given me a little bit of a giggle. And it's a gift that keeps on giving. Whereas like the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing got tired real fast. This has just been like every day there's just like a couple of new screenshots. I can't say that I didn't partake. I did definitely make one for a thumbnail from the other day. It's Amber Heard as Dr. Evil. At other times, televised courtroom footage has been appropriated to openly mock her appearance. It is plain misogyny. It's not misogyny to say she wore an outfit that was Dr. Evil. AA on the left side of the page. Yeah, sure. Boop. Yes. Would you like me to change the font? Oh, you went dark mode. Is that better? Ask and you shall receive. I am a generous goblin. Alright, so maybe they'll tell us how this is misogyny. Memes are misogyny. Certainly memes can be misogynistic, but, should I change it to, see if I can change it to Manya's script font? The company behind the makeup compact Heard used to hide her bruises even made a TikTok disputing her claims. That's not misogyny. She lied and they went, that's not our product. Heard is being systematically jeered at and ridiculed like a medieval criminal in the stocks as she catalogs historic abuse as she alleges rape. Have we completely lost track of the severity of these allegations? No. That's why people are mocking her, because she's making severe allegations, has not been able to back it up, and has been lying. We all understand that Depp fans will side with Depp. No, there are people that were initially sided with Heard that have switched to Depp. There were a lot of people that were quiet about this, and it's again, they're hedging their bets. We're already going to ignore the people that are siding with Johnny Depp because they're Depp fans. Okay. Vogue should also know better than to start a sentence with period, but. We all understand that Depp fans will side with Depp, but even the less aggressive less aggressively Depp-pilled? Are you kidding me? Yeah! Oh my god! Get the fuck out of here! Depp-pilled. Fuck off. Oh my god! This article just immediately threw itself in the trash. You see that dumpster up there? This article in that dumpster right now. Oh no. Also very funny. But even the less aggressively Depp-pilled of us want to believe that the Caribbean pirate is blameless. If not squeaky clean, then at least under the duress of drug addiction or acting out of character. That is, have they been watching this trial at all? Like, everybody except for, like, Amber and maybe Io, maybe, I'd have to rewatch, said that Johnny, sorry, no, it wasn't Io. The only people who have said Johnny is any different whenever he was drinking or doing any drugs of any kind has been Amber and his other ex-girlfriend from 25 years ago. And the only difference she said there wasn't him was that, well, of course there was a difference. He was high. Like, but he was high, not he was aggressive and suddenly like started beating people. No, he was, I mean, he changed as in he was high. That's it. So, bullshit. Oh, boy. Not for squeaky clean, then at least under duress of drug addiction or acting out of character. That his violence can be somewhat explained away by a lapse of judgment or circumstance or both. Or that no violence took place. Vogue is completely 100% out of touch with what people are actually saying about Johnny and why people are criticizing Amber. And why is that problematic? Because then you get people who read these articles who don't have time to follow the extent of the case and the extent of coverage on the case and take them at their word for it because they think they're fucking credible when they're clearly fucking not. People don't think that they're not excusing violence. That's not violence. But we've been over this. How many times have we talked about apologetics? You can't be apologetic for something you don't believe happened. If you don't believe it happened, then there would be nothing to apologize for. So if people are saying, we don't believe violence took place, they aren't defending violence. You can't defend something you don't believe happened. I hate this. I'm angry now. I have one other thing to show you guys, and I want to grab it before I forget. because I was like, this is a demonstration of exactly why these things are problematic and need to not be like this. Excuse me. Give me 1 second while I pull this up. Oh, that better not check that. I retweeted this the other day, and I just want to make sure that I grab it. Where is it? I'm pretty confident that I pinned this. Also, I'm gonna copy this image and throw this in here too for you guys. Oh, I'm dumb. Boop. The jury saw pictures of Amber Heard's swollen face after a fight with Johnny Depp, where the whole conversation was about how there was no swelling. ABC from NPR, ABC News. Jury sees pics of Heard's swollen face after fight with Johnny Depp. Well, the whole conversation was about how there was no swelling. CBC. Jury sees photos of Heard's swollen face. There weren't any pictures of her swollen face. Fuck off. This is what I mean. This is not just a Vogue thing. This has been going on for, like, what are you guys doing? I believe this is, let me see if I can find the thread thing. Well, we'll just take the top one. We'll take the top one. Because this is the example that I wanna show you guys at the end of this. It'll be this tweet here. But we'll get to that. Back to Vogue. Before we, that's a sneak peek for spoilers for later. Yikes. Okay. We certainly don't want to believe that this entire court case is a precise and convincing operation in discrediting Heard, regardless of what she has to say, regardless of her truth. So you're implying that it is, but saying, well, we don't want to believe that, you know, just even though she's saying that and that's her truth. I don't want to think about what this is saying to victims of abuse who are considering coming forward. Really? I do. I really do want to think about what these articles that we just looked at and what this article just looked at and what the arguments that are being made in court against Johnny, who Heard admitted to beating up, who was admittedly a victim here. So if you want to believe that Johnny hit Amber based on fucking nothing, okay, fine, but we have lots of evidence and an admission of guilt that she did hit him, whether he hit her or not. So at the end of the day, there was still violence that was perpetrated upon Johnny Depp by Amber. So we know that Amber beat her husband, period. Now, the question comes, do you want to justify that? Do you think her violence was justified? Well, doesn't that start getting into apologetics? Maybe not. Maybe. Can you justify violence? Yeah. Of course you can. You can justify anything. But suddenly it flips this whole thing on its head. So what does it mean when a man comes forward to say, hey, I was abused, and there's still people defending Amber? So yeah, no, I think Vogue should reread this article and think about what this is going to say for people who are abused, who are men, who can't come forward because of shit like this. And then they started the sentence again with period and. What's the name of this author? What's your name? You're fired. You're fired as a writer. Period and. God. Where was I? Oh, too far. Hold on. Blah, blah, blah. Plain oh yeah, by the way, they said this is misogyny, but have not said how or in what way. And regardless of what Heard did or didn't suffer at the hands of Johnny Depp, isn't the relentless memeing of her a form of violence in itself? No. No, it is not. Oy vey. Is the pummeling by social media not a type of psychological assault? I don't know. Are you going to explain it to me, Vogue? Are we not witnessing a modern-day witch trial? No. No, we're witnessing a regular trial that has a lot of publicity and a lot of people have a lot of opinions about it. Ravensmith sounds like a fake name. Yeah, it does. It does. Some weeks the internet is buoyant. What? All of us kept afloat by daft dresses and Kardashian weddings. And Marvel actors saying they've never been in the same room. Some days I'm looking at cat pictures asking can I has hamburger. Other days... Yikes. Other weeks it just feels too heavy. Then take a break. This is what I mean. Is this a form of psychological assault? She is not allowed to look at the media right now. Amber Heard, currently, while this trial is going on, is not allowed to engage and look and do research about her own fucking thing. She's not allowed. This is like when people were saying that the people who were against Jimmy Snow shouldn't be talking about being against Jimmy Snow because he had to go to the hospital on suicide watch. And my response was, if he's on suicide watch and he's at the hospital, he does not have access to the internet right now. Now is the time to talk about it. That is the safest for him. Bruh. Take a break then. We're watching people actively seek out humor in domestic abuse. Yeah, yes. Because humor is a common coping mechanism. Watch Johnny. He copes via comedy. Finding it funny, finding the absurdity in some things. She shit on his bed. Yeah, people are gonna make fun of that. Oh, she's allowed to watch. She's not allowed to react and post. But she doesn't have to. Fair enough. Thank you for the correction. We're watching people actively seek out humor in domestic abuse as Roe v. Wade is terrorized by pro-lifers and as we see yet more episodes of racially aggravated violence. I don't know why you're mixing these things together, but Roe v. Wade is not related to Amber Heard. We rally, we always rally, but right here, right now, it feels shit. Do you mean it feels like shit? God, this writing hurts my brain. I spent a lot of time wondering if everyone's lost the plot. No, I think it's just you. I think you're the one who's lost the plot. If the erosion of empathy we see online has rendered us so inherently unkind as a species that there is no return. I'm sorry, I need to read this sentence again. I spend a lot of time wondering if everyone's lost the plot. If the erosion of empathy we see online has rendered us so inherently unkind as a species that there's no return. I don't like the way that's worded, but okay. I don't want to despair for humanity. Where does this person spend their time on the internet? Because I feel like they're missing out. Like, I feel like there's a lot more out there. I want to believe that some of us are offline and mildly compassionate or compassionate. I want to believe that some of us are offline and mildly compassionate or compassionate in a way that doesn't get tweeted about. Okay. Well, then you wouldn't hear about it, so I don't understand. That you're all out there being nice to each other, and I'm reporting on a tiny cluster of internet users with pitchforks. EMP, I guess the men deserve no empathy, eh? Yeah, where's this person's empathy for Johnny? He's the one who got hit that we have actual evidence of. I don't know. Though I have felt myself veering towards it, I can no longer both sides this. It's time to draw a line. It's time to believe women, all women. It's time to believe Heard. The British court believed Depp beat his ex-wife. What's stopping the rest of us? No, it didn't. That's not what that trial was about. Oh my god. This article has 0 references. You want to believe Amber Heard? Okay, I believe Amber Heard when she says she hit Johnny Depp. I believe Amber Heard when she gets angry. I believe Amber Heard when she said she had a bruise kit. I believe Amber Heard when she said, I took a handful of pills, I mean 2. I believe Amber Heard when Amber Heard shit on the bed. I believe Amber Heard when Amber Heard stormed out of the courtroom despite the court order to stay and go to sit with her attorneys, disrespecting her attorneys, disrespecting the judge, disrespecting the court, disrespecting the jury, and disrespecting due process. I believe Amber Heard when she said she wanted 3 penthouses, a fancy car, and all of the utilities and maintenance on the penthouses, the mortgage, the car expenses, all to be paid for by Johnny. I believe Amber Heard when she says she cut the shit out of her feet and then were walking around. I believe Amber Heard when she says she required no medical attention. Don't be picky. If you're gonna believe her, then believe her and actually listen to what she's saying. This isn't the only article that's like this. The memes are misogynistic. How? Are the memes about Johnny misogynistic? Is this author maybe not just bias, which they admit to at the very end of the article, is trying to draw a line and have empathy for Amber Heard. And throw Johnny Depp under the bus. Fuck that guy. Are you kidding? Really? Who? Can somebody please, like, call, the con artist hotline? Because we got a sucker over here who's gonna... This person's gonna believe anything any woman ever tells them ever. What? I think they're not on the jury. Like, did you get paid for this? Are you kidding me? Yikes. This is a big oof, in my opinion. By the way, we really do need to get an oof emoji. So if we can get, like, what you guys think is the current equivalent emoji of the oof, I would appreciate that. All right, so let's talk a little bit. Why is this problematic? Why is this article? And why is articles like this? Why are these so problematic? Why is mainstream media problematic in this? Why is this a bad thing to be? Is it because it's inherently biased? Yeah, a little bit. Is it potentially because this is not looking at any, like, it's purporting to be speaking, like, a truth of some kind and being, like, utilizing facts and analysis to report on something, and it's not doing any of those things, and it's misleading people, and it's misleading people in a way that is problematic on an individual level for somebody like Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp specifically. Like, by that I mean a man who's being abused. Or is maybe this problematic because this is leading people in a direction, in an inherently dishonest direction of that, well, just believe this person who's obviously lying by her own admission. Let me show you this. What's happening to Amber Heard is unthinkable and quite honestly frightening. This smear campaign that has generated millions of uneducated people globally to join the propaganda parade and continue to spread misinformation will one day be recognized as one of the most damaging events in current history. That's not an exaggeration. This is factual prediction based on what we are witnessing in real time and the detrimental effect this trial is having on society and Johnny Depp's well-being. It is inhumane and grossly misconstrued. It doesn't make any sense. What is happening to Johnny Depp is unthinkable and quite honestly frightening. This smear campaign that has generated millions of uneducated people globally to join the propaganda parade and continue to spread misinformation will one day be recognized as one of the most damaging events in current history. That is not an exaggeration. This is a factual prediction based on what we are witnessing in real time and the detrimental effect this trial and these articles is having on society and Johnny's well-being. It is inhumane. It's grossly misconstrued. It doesn't make any sense. You're welcome. I fixed that for you. Our society is so hell-bent on supporting the most popular person at the table that they fail to look deeper into what's being shoved down their throats. If society took it upon themselves to read up on the propaganda being presented, everyone will come to the same conclusion. This is literally just take what they're saying. This person is projecting onto Amber everything that's happening to Johnny. This is completely flipped. This is completely flipped. And it's because of articles like this and articles like this that do shit like this. Amber Heard is a victim of domestic abuse and she has the receipts to prove it. No, she doesn't. There are photos, there are audio recordings, text message, and eyewitnesses have all testified to the abuse she received at the hands of her ex-husband. Everything women were told to provide to prove it, she has done so. No, you mean like the medical records that her attorneys haven't put forward? Those things? Let's reread this. Johnny Depp is a victim of domestic abuse, and he has the receipts to prove it. There are photos, audio recordings, text messages, and eyewitnesses who have all testified to the abuse he received at the hands of his ex-wife. Everything women are told to provide to prove it, he has done so, in great detail, but still, he isn't believed and has been made public enemy number one and been called the most unimaginable names by millions of people worldwide. Why? Because he doesn't fit the narrative of what women and men want a victim to be. She hit back. She has admitted to this. Hit back. Hit back. Back. Where? She admitted she hit him. She said in an audio recording, I hit you. Not back. In not a single one of those audio recordings do you ever hear Amber Heard talking about being hit herself. Only you hear her talking about hitting him. She was brave enough and smart enough to document what was happening, except for all the stuff she didn't document. She carried on with her life and went to work and wrote articles and went on interviews and contacted his attorneys. She left within 2 years of being constantly abused. I'd have to time check that one. We're going to get a fact check on that. She filed for divorce and got a restraining order. As a threat. The TRO was a threat. She moved on. Which is why she wrote the op-ed 2 years later, right? She moved on, which is why she's so upset and crying on the stand when she's being questioned by her lawyer, but definitely when asked about the same events, she's not nearly as upset, right? Right? She used her voice to do what was right. She spoke up, but she absolutely knew the consequences. She wrote about what these would be in 2018. She was wrong about that, too. Some years after she had left the man who, for lack of a better explanation, tried to kill her based on nothing. Intentionally or not, that's besides the point. Somebody trying to kill somebody is an intention. If you put the word almost killed her, then that could be intentionally or not. But I tried to kill someone, or this person tried to kill them, is intentional. You made an attempt to do this action. Not intentional or not, that's besides the point. No, that's just backwards. That's, oh no. Oh no. Okay. Sorry. Amber Heard has subjected herself to an inhumane amount of abuse and utterly disgusting accusations from millions of people. She is still here. She is still fighting for what is right and continuing to inspire people to keep fighting as well. I would like a source for any of these. However, oh boy. Sorry, I glanced down and saw this and oh boy. Oh no, I'm being yelled at to check my DM, so I'm gonna check that real quick, just while this is going on, because I believe I've been sent something. Oh no, okay, what does this say? Oh, The Observer. Hashtag #MeToo is over if we don't listen to imperfect victims like Amber Heard. You don't have to be perfect to be a victim, but you have to be a victim to be a victim. That's a start. Fuck. Okay. All right. However, what this has also done is shine a light on the deeper issues we face in society as women. Without video evidence and a man admitting to what he has done, we will never be believed, even if we are. Men still walk around with the world at their feet at Chris Brown. Okay, listen, I do agree that Chris Brown ought not to have a fucking career after what he did to Rihanna, because that's some bullshit. But you know what she had? Pictures that showed damage. She didn't need video evidence. People believe that happened. He just has a career anyway because people like his music more than they care about his behavior. That's a different problem. That's not an issue of people believing or not. That's a matter of priority. That's how seriously do we take the actions and the consequences, right? All right, I'll pull up the Observer one once you get a little bit further into this. I don't care if you believe Amber Heard. Yeah, you do. Your whole thing is about believing her, but whatever. I don't care if you believe Amber Heard. I don't care if you think she's a liar. I don't care if you think she shit in a bed or lied about donating money. I can debunk everything you don't believe because I know the truth. What I do care about, however, is your callous tongue. I am deeply concerned for people supporting a man who is clearly an abusive narcissistic addict. You can not deny any of this. Well, I don't think he's narcissistic. He was addicted to his medicines. So, but I haven't seen anything abusive. It concerns me that I live in a world where people think that this is okay, ? Oh, I'm cautious about bringing a child into this world. Dystopian Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's a good spot to end. I'm going to send this person a message, all right? Let's see if their DMs are not opened. So I'm going to tweet at this person, all right? Hey, oh, wait, before I do that, hold on, go back. Go back. I want to take this. I'm going to grab a screenshot. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing so you guys can see me do it live. And I got right here. I can debunk anything. Right? I'm gonna go. I can debunk everything you don't believe because I know the truth. Copy. All right. We are going to invite this person. We're going to invite this person onto our discussion streams. I will tweet at them. Hi, I saw your tweet thread about Amber, AH, and JD. In your thread, you said that you could debunk people who believe Depp and not Heard. Would you like to come onto a show and discuss this topic and maybe change some minds, set some record straight? Question mark. Feel free to DM me or there. Done. There we go. We will invite this person onto a conversation because I'm convinced that this is a matter of like these kinds of articles, shit like this, that ends up leading people to believe things that this woman, assumed woman, I don't know if they're a woman, they might be a man, it's the internet, I don't know. Boom. I'm gonna say neutral. And now I gotta fix all this so I can actually fit it in the stupid thing. There we go. Tweet. There we go. We'll see. We'll see. Last person I offered to bring up, but it will be Debate Hub. It won't be here. It also will probably not be me. I will not be the one. I will just be hosting and mediating just to make sure this person has a fair and equal and neutral platform to have this discussion on, so that way they can set some of this information straight, like some of the stuff we talked about at the beginning. Maybe we're just all misunderstanding. Maybe we're all just completely wrong and Vogue knows what they're talking about, which I think absolutely not. Absolutely does Vogue not know dick all. This is what, by the way, they're trying to compare the person's Twitter we were just looking at. These are the difference in the pictures here for, is this going to open? You gonna open for me? It's not gonna open for me. Why are you like this? Feel bad. Nope, those are the same. All right, well, for whatever reason, the Rihanna one's not opening. We can talk about that maybe when this person decides to come on and discuss, because I think comparing Amber Heard to Rihanna is actually absolutely fucking disgusting. Let's see if the Observer will let us take a look here. Here we go. Me Too. Me Too is over if we don't listen to imperfect victims like Amber Heard. And then let's F9. By Martha Gill. The backlash to the Me Too movement was always coming. We know this because a backlash has followed every single step forwards feminists have ever made. But half of that is caused by feminists, I would like to point out. This backlash was always going to be big, too. Not only did hashtag Me Too threaten the status quo that props up powerful men, it threatened these men personally, and as it seemed to some, with reckless caprice. Quote, if somebody can be brought down by an accusation like this, end quote, a White House lawyer said shortly after Christine Blasey Ford's allegations against Brett Kavanaugh were made public, quote, then you, me, every man certainly should be worried. Yes, because the issue is accusations. You should not be held guilty on accusations alone. That is what court and trial is for. That's what examination is for. That's what critical analysis is for. That is what investigation is for. You do not, it is not guilty until proven innocent. It is innocent until proven guilty. If you are guilty based on somebody's accusations, that is not a world that men, women, children, nobody ought to want to live in. Period. Men, women, other, neither. Nonsense. You do not get to just accuse somebody and have their whole life ruined. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. Oh, hi, Mark. It wasn't just men who were worried. The idea that systems that previously treated only women, minorities, and lower class men unfairly might be capable of doing the same to high status men was deeply unsettling to everyone. No. This is about whether or not somebody should be treated as if they're guilty based only on an accusation. That has nothing. That's if the system starts doing that, and if society starts doing that, you end up with a really, really unhappy society. This is not a good. That is not a step feminists want. This is not a step forward. This is a step backwards. And if you're gonna blame feminism for it, I don't think you should. But if this person is going to say that this is the responsibility of feminists, then women need to fix it. And in which case, women need to start acknowledging that men, there are shitty women too. Being a shitty person and being an abuser is not limited by gender. Being an asshole and being an idiot, also not limited by gender. Not limited by gender, not limited by race, not limited by sexuality. You can be an asshole or an idiot no matter who you are. Congratulations, we found the one thing that everybody can have in common. It is not limited. Unlimited assholery. Huzzah. Sorry, I got taken away there for a second. Whew. It wasn't just men who were worried. The idea, blah, blah, blah. This is just wrong. After all, when a man is treated badly, it lands with a double sense of burning injustice. Does it? I didn't know that. News to me. Women's stories of woe are so common that they can leave us comparatively unfazed. There is something called burnout, sure. If you're reading a lot of the same kind of news, a lot of the same kind of story, you can get an exhaustion based on that. I don't think that's what this person is trying to say, but it's not inherently not, like, untrue. Kyle's goldfish, I knew this was going to make you big mad. I feel like you guys just send me stuff to upset me on purpose. We feel bad, but we already know women are treated unfairly. It is priced in, quote, bracket, women's stories were, end of bracket, all the same story, which is not to say that it wasn't important, but it was boring, end quote, writes Taffy Brodesser Anker in her novel Fleshman is in Trouble. What is this? Is this like a fictional novel, or is this like a... What is this? A novel. Great. What kind of novel? Hardcover. New York Times bestseller. That is not worth a damn thing. A masterpiece about marriage, divorce, and the bewildering dynamics of ambition. Okay, but what kind of book is this? Product description. About the author. What kind of book is this? Bestseller in satire, family life, and literary fiction. Okay, so it's at best commentary through fiction. Not necessarily the best thing to be quoting, but okay. Quote. Anyway, let's quote it. The first time I interviewed a man, I understood we were talking about something more like the soul, end quote. When something bad happens to a powerful man, it has not happened to a statistic, it has happened to a human soul. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, a fictional character in a fictional book had a fictional observation about a fictional interview they had with a fictional man, and this person is taking it literally and applying it to society on a whole. You can take the concept in a fictional novel and apply it to real life. This is not how you do that. But okay. God. For these reasons, #MeToo struck many men and women as deeply unfair. Yet it was merely an attempt to correct a bias that still exists. Female accusers are still routinely treated as if they are lying, both by the public and the court. more so than other alleged victims of crime. Hi, Elusive Man. It's good to see you. Yeah, it took the testimony of female accusers, more so than other alleged victims of crime. It took the testimony of more than 100 women to bring down Harvey Weinstein. Brett Kavanaugh was not brought down. So what does any of this have to do with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Nothing so far. Second off, if you're talking about the issues of whether or not victims are treated fairly in the court or by the public or by police, men don't report as often. It's gotten better. It has certainly improved, but a lot of men do not come forward because they think they will be mocked and not believed. The exact same problem women have. These are the same problem. This is not being abused is not just because you're a man doesn't mean nobody can punch you in the face. This is stupid. The public reaction to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial is what a #MeToo backlash looks like. No, it's what backlash for lying about Me Too looks like and taking advantage of Me Too and a movement. What that looks like and what it ought to look like. If you lie about being a victim and you lie, you're no longer the victim that needs to be believed. If you're lying about what has happened in your life and you're lying in your accusation against somebody, you ought to face consequences. I think there ought to be legal consequences because if you're ruining somebody's life and making them a criminal and wasting police resources and times, that ought to have some repercussions to it. Now, what the level and severity of those repercussions is a discussion for another day, but there ought to be something. Ridiculous. The answer to this, by the way, Darth, I actually disagree with you slightly because it's cancel Me Too. I don't quite agree with that. What I think is that Me Too ought to include men because these things ought to be brought forward. These crimes ought to be tried and ought to be taken seriously. And it just means it shouldn't be exclusive to women. It should include men as well. I think the answer to that isn't to cancel. I think the answer is to enfold more a broader umbrella. But maybe that's just me. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I kicked my desk. My foot is also numb as hell. I've been sitting on it for an hour. Here are the facts of the case. Depp is suing Heard for defamation after she described herself in a 2018 article that didn't mention him. And they all gotta be really specific about that, right? It didn't mention him as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Depp says he is innocent of abuse and her statements amounts to lying. On his side are two facts that seem to be clear. Here, Heard promised to donate her entire divorce settlement to charity and didn't. Correct. There is a recording in which she admits to hitting Depp. I mean, there's a little bit more than that because you still require malice, and this, I don't think this person understands what defamation requires, but okay, those are two things that are clear. Yes, I will give them that. Those aren't the only two things that are clear, and I think this list needs to be a lot larger, but let's keep going. Hi, AK, good to see you. On Heard's side is the following evidence. Depp admits to headbutting his wife by accident. No, he didn't. And there are texts from his assistant alleging he kicked Heard. I didn't see those, so unless I would like to see it would be nice if this person gave sources, like if they had like links to maybe the video, that part of the video they're talking about, part of the court case they're talking about, anything, that'd be nice. There are texts from Depp to Paul Bettany saying he wanted to kill Heard and rape her burnt corpse. Yeah, thought crime and venting to your friend sadly is not considered a crime, thankfully, luckily for everybody else. So if he had sent that to her, that would be super duper problematic. Him sending that to his friend. Not a crime. Not abuse. Oh, and in Tree Feline does point out, good point. They overlooked that Virginia allows for defamation by implication. You don't have to specifically mention someone for it to be defamatory. So if both Vogue, which did this, and the Observer, which did, the Guardian, which did this, in saying that he's not even, this thing didn't even mention him, it doesn't matter whether it mentioned him explicitly or not in Virginia. There is a recording of Jepp shouting at Heard for speaking in an authoritative way to him. Interesting interpretation. She was awarded a domestic violence restraining order in 2016. No, she wasn't. She was awarded a temporary restraining order in 2016, conveniently leaving that out. In 2018, Depp sued the Sun newspaper for libel after it called him a wife beater. He lost this case. Oh, you linked that. After the judge found 12 of 14 allegation incidents in Depp's abuse of Heard to be true. I read through that case. I definitely recommend going and checking that out. And if you are interested, which this place also, the Guardian also did not include, is Amber Heard's connection to that judge. And as well that UK law is very different than American law. But they're not going to get into that. The court will decide whether or not Heard is a liar. Actually, the jury will, specifically. The judge will have no say in that. This is a jury trial. But, again, I'm going to start writing off any article that has this period but. Right off. But the idea that Heard is a manipulator, a fantasist, and an abuser herself has caught fire across all social media and some more traditional outlets. Every sexist trope ever used to humiliate and discredit female accusers has been deployed against her at a vast scale. You're not understanding. She's discredited herself, and therefore people are mocking her for it. Not people are discrediting her by mocking her, or people are trying to discredit her, and therefore she's lost credibility. No. She lost credibility via her own testimony. Not the other way around. You've got this backwards. And that's a very important distinction. Reenacting her testimony of rape and abuse has become a game on TikTok. Has it? I've seen people reenacting her testimony. Oh, sorry, not reenacting her testimony, and it's reenacting the testimony of an abuse has become a game on TikTok. Yeah, I've seen some of those. They're actually pretty good reenacting, so I'm not gonna lie. She has been mocked by Saturday Night Live and by Chris Rock. Believe all women except Amber Heard. That was funny. And NSYNC's Lance Bass. Oh, I'm clicking on this. I want to... Oh, shit. Oh, well, whatever. I want to see what he said. Oh, this is nonsense. I want to see the TikTok. Oh, he deleted it. Boo. Boo. Sorry, I gotta scroll back down. I thought that was gonna open another window. It did not. Okay. Heard's tormentors. They're tormentors, not criticizers. They're tormentors. Many of them young women. Is that me? Am I getting called out here? Do not seem to see themselves as anti-feminists. Correct. They believe women, of course, just not this one. It's because it's not about believing women. It's about... the thing is it's believe victims. And if it's believing victims, it immediately negates anybody who is not a victim or anybody who's lying about being a victim. Why would you believe someone who is just like one-to-one lying? Like, hello? Oof. It is not they who are damaging #MeToo. It's Heard by virtue of being an imperfect victim. No, it's Heard taking advantage of and damaging me too by not being a victim at all and lying about it. How have you gotten this so wrong? Have you watched any of this trial? I demand that Martha Gill, tell me exactly how much of this trial she has watched and demonstrate her knowledge of the of what's actually been presented thus far. They perhaps forget that the project of #MeToo, the whole point was to help imperfect victims. Sure, but you have to be a victim. And Amber Heard isn't a victim, because she fucking lied. I don't know why this is so hard for you to grasp, except for the fact that you don't want to. Because fuck men, I guess. Those who were wearing the wrong thing, or were drunk, or were promiscuous, or loved their perpetrator, or had previously broken the law, or had lied before, or had a bad character, or seemed, quote, a little bit nutty and a little bit slutty, as David Brock once memorably described Anita Hill, who testified during the Clarence Thomas U.S. Supreme Court confirmation hearing in 1991. In fact, perfect victims have never needed feminism, partly because they barely exist. No! None of these things, I have not seen a single one of these things be the reason why people don't believe Amber. The reason why people don't believe Amber is because they believe she is lying currently, not that she lied before. Time exists. I believe the female officers. I believe Dr. Curry, who's a female. I believe Kate James, a female. I believe Christie, a female. I believe RN. Oh, I believe the RN. I believe Dr. Anderson, partially. Females. Do I need to go on? Yeah, there's other women in this case that have been involved. How about believing the woman who Amber Heard spit in her face? How about believing the woman who Amber Heard beat previously, her previous wife? How about that? Believing, yeah, Intrigue Feline, really good point. Believing Amber Heard would mean I'd have to disbelieve all the other women who came forward and demonstrated truth in Johnny Depp's favor. Elusive Man, I bet Martha is a huge Amber fan and a misandrist that throws all men under the bus as abusers. It seems that way. I would say this article would lend towards that bet. Whether or not Heard's accusers fully realize it, then, setting up bad victims in opposition to genuine ones, genuine meaning not liars, is a very effective method of unpicking Me Too. You know what's really good for destroying Me Too? Blatantly just standing behind somebody who's fucking lying. Blindly. It is only the rare misogynist who outright admits they don't believe women. Their objection has always been just to this one bitch who is lying. Because they're lying! You don't get to lie about being a victim and then get all the benefits of still being a victim when you're not a victim, especially when you're the abuser in the situation. Oh my god, how do you not understand that Me Too is supposed to be against people like Amber Heard? How does this happen? #Me Too, the clues in the name, attempted to combat this by linking experiences, all those bitches who weren't believed, so we could see the pattern. In fact, you could say the whole project of feminism is about taking bad things that happen to women, which they thought could only happen to them or were their fault, and calling them by one name. Divide us back into unliked individuals who might be lying, and the movement is lost. What do you mean might? You gotta throw that out there. Okay, feminism isn't just about women. I don't know how to break this to you. Feminism isn't just about women. Feminism is also supposed to be good for men, or trans women, or trans men, or non-binary, or anybody under that flag. Because when it's bad for one, it's bad for everybody. Women not being able to open bank accounts or vote wasn't good for men. Women not being believed, also not good for men. Men not being believed isn't good for women. Blindly backing Amber Heard is not good for men. It's not good for women. It's not good for trans people. It's not good for anybody who identifies otherwise. Because just blindly believing somebody who is blatantly lying to a court of law and treating people based on accusation alone as if they are guilty when no such thing has been proven is not good for anyone. Period. End of sentence. Really? You want to believe all women? Martha Gill abused me. I guess you have to believe me now. Guilty until proven innocent, right? That's how that works? Darth Mando. Yeah, absolutely. Fuck feminism. I'm a humanist. Feminism that exists in the 2000s is so garbage. So garbage. Oh, boy. Okay. Me Too. Hashtag Me Too is often framed as having uncovered truths about the world. It's success. Hey, you want to know who Me Too should be helping? People like Brendan Fraser. Sorry. Who was, like, you know, sexually harassed and abused by higher ups in Hollywood. Men. You know that men can abuse men, right? Do they not know that? Has nobody told them that? Okay. Well, I digress. Its success was because women, quote, explained really clearly, end quote, what was going on. No, people already knew what was going on. Hashtag Me Too worked for the reason any feminist movement works. Strength in numbers. It is a political movement pushing against incredibly strong forces in the other direction. There's no reason to think its work cannot be rolled back. I agree with most of that. Martha Hill is a political journalist and former lobby correspondent. Thank you, Observer. Do you have an opinion on the issue raised in this article? If you would like to submit a letter of up to 300 words to be considered for publication, email us. Guys, do we email them? Do we email them and the email is just a link to this video with a timestamp? Do we do it? All right, I'm making a poll. One, do we email the Observer a link to this video with timestamp? Yes, no. You guys let me know if we do this. Wait, where did... Okay, there it goes. God, I give you guys a minute to... But you see why these are problematic. They're complaining about division. Divide us back into unliked individuals. But you're the one dividing people based on bullshit and misleading people and misrepresenting the situation. You're misrepresenting the situation about Virginia having... about Virginia's laws for defamation. You're misleading people about the information that's actually even been presented in the court. You don't even link to where you say somebody said this or that. You also seem to be trying to link Johnny Depp to Brett Kavanaugh and Harvey Weinstein, which is a wholly inappropriate. Stop trying to take advantage of, weaponize, and utilize other people's horrific experiences to try to prop up a fucking liar. What are you doing? Ugh. I got too excited. Welcome to Dumb Fekk Friday, but on a Sunday. Because fuck this shit. I don't even know what more to say about this. There's 100% on that poll. Oh my god. Unanimous. Unanimous. God. You know what? Give me a minute. I'm gonna give you guys a second to vote. Vote yes or no. I'll be back in a sec. All right, so let's talk about the problem. What is the problem with mainstream media in this case, or other cases that are similar to this? All right. Is the problem bias? Not necessarily, but bias can be dealt with. Bias isn't necessarily too problematic, particularly if you are open and honest about it. And having a bias doesn't prevent you from being objective. As an individual, there's a difference when you are writing articles. When you're writing articles, you can have a biased article, but you can still get your fucking facts straight. This is just lazy. Absolutely lazy. What an absolute nightmare. Like, you are kidding me, right? Low-level bargain bin fucking trash coming from ABC News, CBC, The Guardian, Vogue. Like, do we not expect a little bit better from our publications? I feel like if we don't, we really, really, really should. On the other hand, I feel like our problem is more of an issue of neutrality. There's a difference between being neutral and being biased and being objective. You can be neutral and biased and still be objective. I can have a bias towards Amber Heard and still be objective about the facts of the matter. I can be biased for Johnny Depp and talk about the facts of the matter, because the facts of the matter are distinct from, I can compartmentalize those things. And being neutral doesn't mean you can't come to a conclusion. I went into this neutral. I went into this case and following what was going on and looking at what was happening tentatively from a neutral perspective. You know what I didn't do? I didn't let my biases, and from an objective perspective, I didn't let my biases weigh the table of neutrality. So let's say I like Amber Heard more than Johnny Depp. I can still approach something and look at things, removing that bias from an objective matter and be neutral about my analysis. But if I do things like what Vogue and The Observer did, The Guardian did, and I step on one side of the scale and omit facts, lie about things, dishonestly try to put together different issues, and to when things are weighed so heavily one direction, to rebalance that scale and then maybe even try to tip it the other way, that's not neutral. You're not a neutral platform. You're not being objective at all. That's the opposite. And to be fair, this can go the other way too. You can try to undo your bias too far and be biased against the thing, and then end up producing something that is actually biased against the thing you have a bias for. People will tend to do that. People do that accidentally a lot, but people sometimes will do that purposefully to make themselves seem like something they're not, which, you know, is dishonest inherently as a different issue. But this is ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. How do you fix it? Take money out of it would be a good start. Maybe value local news a little bit more. But how do you get good international coverage? Good luck. You're going to have to find somebody that you can trust. You're going to have to maybe find the source initially, and even then, a lot of the sources, you got to follow the money, find where it's at. Yeah, exactly, Mary. You don't like either one of them, so you're kind of neutral. Yeah, so can you be objective? Of course you can. In science, bias is recognized as a fact of life, so they have to practice peer review in their publication process to reduce or eliminate it. Now, wouldn't that be interesting? If we throw a little bit of scientific method into the mainstream media. But again, the part of the problem is you end up with people like that we were looking at earlier. Let me pull it back up again. If I can find it, it'll be under my tweets. Oop. This poor Miss Lopez clear bright frame person who's been who, in my opinion, has been at best, because I don't know them, it might be purposeful, but at best, horrifically misled. Horrifically misled. And it's like, this is not okay. Here's my tweet to this person, by the way. This is the person I'm talking about, that we looked at earlier, and their tweets are I'm finally choosing to stand with Amber Heard. A short thread I went through siding with Johnny with an asterisk over poor evidence to deciding, quote, they were both mutually abusive, end quote. And the problem there is that I was feeding into that abuse victim retaliating with violence is abuse. Yeah, that's you know what? That's a conversation for another day if you want to talk about mutually abusive. I've talked about that before, but like, Depp texted a friend saying that he wanted to kill Amber, blah, 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 opinion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that went over in cross-examination. Again, you cannot... It doesn't mean he attempted to kill her. I'm sorry, thought crime, not a thing. Appropriate to say? Maybe not. Sure. If you want to say that, hey, listen, he shouldn't have sent that text at all, all right. Fine. There's also a phenomenon of steel manning and the benefit of doubt, so then just destroy it anyway because that side is just too weak. Yep. Peer-reviewed articles. No. It would be peer-reviewed articles. How would you do that? I'm trying to think of how you would do peer-reviewed articles, because you wouldn't want to do, like, an article in response to an article. That wouldn't be any good, because then you're just publishing both, and that's... I feel like that's a lot of what mainstream media does, and a lot of YouTube channels do that as well. They'll make videos against each other, so that, like, neither of them are actually making anything new. They're just making things back and forth. If he had sent that text to her, then that would be far more problematic, and that would probably be the most abusive thing that's been actually presented in court. If he sent it to her, which he did not. So ignore the words written in the journal by Amber Heard. Yep, ignore that. A blatant manipulation by adding tears in Amber Heard's picture that were never there in the actual trial. Yeah, that's pretty bad. You know, Amber Heard saying horrific things to Johnny doesn't matter. Only what matters is what he said to her, right? But anyway, I don't want to put this person on blast too hard. I shouldn't leave their thing up there, my bad. I'm not trying to put them on blast, but I sure ain't going to protect them for their shit takes. That's for... Why would I? It's not my problem. All right, let's end this poll. We've got... What did we end up with? We ended up with an 89% saying yes, 10% saying no. All right, I feel like that's how you do it. All right, I will get off of here. I will do that. That's it for me. My mind can't handle that. Go to the main page of this channel to see what's coming up. The scheduled live streams are scheduled. Some of them are scheduled already. I think there's 2, maybe 3 scheduled right now. We have Landon and Kirk Wilcox coming on to talk about the state of affairs, and basically it's 2 independents talking about the current political spectrum of America and the current, state of affairs. We also have Seamus and John coming on for Debate Hub stuff. That's Landon and Kirk as well, Debate Hub, to talk to us about corruption within the Atheist Alliance International, which I have talked about before. So that should be fun. We also have Dumb Fekk Friday, not this coming Friday because that's going to be Debate Hub, but the next Friday we're going to talk about some masculine theory. Sure, that will be interesting. Manya will be there for that. There's also 2 videos coming out tomorrow and the day after, so look out for those. One of them is art, and it will be the speed paint of Grog. The other one is going to be a little bit more about Amber Heard, and that's just a pre-recorded video. It was actually already live on Manya's. I've just clipped out a little bit of it and putting it out there for people. There's also going to be, I will on Saturday coming up, we'll be talking about and going over and analyzing the ending, the closing for the trial. So that will be a live reaction. I will not watch it ahead of time. I will wait and watch it live, and we'll do a little bit of analysis of the closing remarks from Friday on Saturday, and then have a good night, elusive man. And on Wednesday, I should have done this in order. Monday, pre-recorded video. Tuesday, pre-recorded video. I don't know what order they're going to be in. It'll either be the painting on Monday and then the Amber Heard stuff on Tuesday, or the vice versa. Wednesday, Guns, Magic, and Steel. If you're interested in our D&D game for charity, please feel free to come and check us out. We're going to have some fun. Thursday is going to be the debut of Debate Hub with Landon and Kirk. On Friday is going to be the next episode of Debate Hub, where we have Seamus and John coming on from the Free Thought Project to talk about the Atheist Alliance International and some corruption that seems to have been going on there. Both of them will be on the discussion side of things. I don't know how much debate is going to take place, but there'll definitely be some. And on Saturday, I will do a live reaction, blind reaction to the closing statements from the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial that will happen on Friday. That's what's going on. So much shit going on. And I'll like and subscribe and make sure you hit the bell. Don't miss anything. And I will see you tomorrow. Get me out. This gave me cancer. Goodbye. Goodbye. Have a good day, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye now. Toodaloo. Toodaloo. Bye-bye. 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 Bye. Bye-bye. So long. Bye-bye. Bye.